You go here, Yeah, yeah. Now I don't know if that is relative to more recent um, visits with your spirit in a human form. But then again, I've always been attracted to the stars, the sky, and Andromeda. I knew when I was 11 years old. I mean, I studied astronomy.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was into it. I'm into it now, big time. Um, well, yeah, and well, the thing is, the opportunity when people say, "Oh, there's life out there," yeah, it's probably us. I mean,
Right.
spirit is
Exactly.
yeah, spirit's all over, and then they take some physical shape, whatever you want to call it. We may not even recognize it, but there must be billion time more spirit than there are physical or something close to physical entities, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's just such complexity that, I mean, it's hard for me to fathom sometimes when I, go through a reading with people. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And there's just a sense of overwhelming comfort and joy. It's amazing. Even in the bad or what we consider or judge as hard or bad lifetimes, it's amazing the experiences of it. And yes, I mean our spirit is it's we're drawn to those things as you said, and it just seems so close and so right and so easy, and oh, it's amazing. I love it all how it ties together.
Well, I think once a person gets involved in whatever your route to the spirituality, and any great speaker or motivation type person or group always suggests spirituality first. Um, and boy, those were only words to me until I truly started investigating the paranormal 4 years ago. And the more I got into it, I realized what I was being told is from spirit itself matches what you're saying.
Right, right. It's wonderful, isn't it? Isn't it a
It's
fulfilling thing?
um it it's fulfilling because this I want to say, I'm always trying to say it eloquently. Um, what we are right now, and whoever is listening to this, um, this is just such a small bite of really who we are in spirit. And I think about the guy across the street who killed himself 2 years ago, thinking that, oh boy, this life is just too hard. He was losing his house and got a divorce, and in the great scheme of things, it's nothing.
Right.
It's nothing.
We'll go on to yeah something else.
But then he goes in spirit, and then he goes and gets fixed up, and I don't know. I don't know what happens to people who commit
Well,
suicide. It's a
I
problem.
can say this much. I can say that my experience is that people, regardless whether it's a bad life or suicide or whatever, in my experience, now I'm not saying this is the only thing, but with my experience is that there seems to be, in what I have experienced thus far through these readings, that there's a common thread that you're going through the lifetime for. One of mine is patience, that I know by far. But there's just certain, it's like I was saying earlier about the subject matter. There's a certain subject that you're studying. Maybe it's to learn compassion, because I've seen a lot of people, you said something earlier about, you're maybe a great leader, but then you're, down to, maybe a
The
very
surf. Yeah.
right. And it seems to be something that it just so you can take away that balance, hopefully, in the the future or scheme of things, not really future.
Yeah, everything is. Yeah, and that's what I've read on the topic is that it all is supposed to balance out, to take both sides of it, so you truly can understand. I'm getting more convinced every day that not only patience, but more so in my life, and patience is needed, but faith in what I can't see, because what I went through 4 and 5 years ago, and then again a year and a half ago, when I was in a coma 3 months and died and came back, it was truly faith. First, it was me, faith, getting through what I had to get through 4.5 years ago. It was the worst part of my life, and it was alone, totally alone. And I finally remember in my bed, in a place, staring out at the moon and just saying, I give it all to you. You decide what to do with my life. I can't drive this anymore. I can't make any good decisions. I have a tendency to wreck everything I do with my stupid decisions. You take over, and I'm just going to let life happen, and I know it's going to work out the way you want to. And you know it did. Within a year, things were extremely well, and I am never been happier as I am right now, ever. And I didn't make one decision to get to where I am right now. So that's the lesson. Yes, that was the lesson, and it was for me to get the hell out of the way and let God, as I see him, run my life, and have the faith to actually let him do it every day, in and out, and not sit around, talk about it and post it and get posties and post them and tell everyone I'm on God's route. It was very internal. I kept it to myself, but I knew that I was in the back of the bus and he was driving, and it was going to be okay. And now, what did that teach me? Faith. And then on the other side of this educational thing that I'm going through, we call it life, is that when I went into this coma, my listeners from No Limits, from around the U.S., actually from around the world, from Australia, were writing in. And Janet was posting every day what was going on. And everyone, I mean, I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of posts of prayers for me that I was going to get well. And the power, I'm saying that only because God, as I see him, heard all these prayers. And that's faith. So someone else, and the lesson learned there was to allow others to take over for you too in the faith department. Because you're not gifted with only faith. You're not the only guy that has it. And you're not the only guy that's going to make it happen.
I'm sure I'm not. You are not.
Yeah.
We're all just a beautiful piece and unique piece of the puzzle of all of it.
Yeah, and I think that's my takeaway here. And it's changed me. It has totally changed me as a man.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
For so many reasons. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think
because I had a lot of pain, and the only way to get rid of it was to drink.
Well,
I haven't drank in years, and don't even have. I don't want to because I don't want to miss anything. I love life now.
fulfilling, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
That's
and
when
it
it
is because,
makes a difference.
And I look back, and I didn't do a damn thing to create it.
Well, you did. You just learned to have trust and faith.
Which I didn't have before. And
Right.
maybe
And you let
that's
go of
the takeaway.
control.
Right. And maybe that's the takeaway that I jumped into in this life, is to get this experience.
Right. Oh, absolutely. To learn it to, well, and you decided that you weren't going to do it the easy way. That's what I just heard. You wanted to go into it full force.
Oh, yeah. I kept trying to buck the system. I was looking for an easier way around it, and it just
You
was
wanted
a
to
long
be the leader.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the
See
truth.
what I mean by the circle now? What they just told me, that's what the circle is for you. You wanted to be the leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you cannot be the leader. You have to, just listen and learn and have faith and trust.
Yes. And those are not just words to me anymore. Those are truly in my heart now. Uh, and it's okay. I don't want to be the leader of anything anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing is our guides are, and as you see it, God, all of it, source, whatever the word or the creator or belief, they aren't here to or wanting us to be punished just for the sake of being punished. They're just trying to give us that life that we crave, that experience that we want, that, I mean, it'd be pretty boring just sitting around saying Om all day long.
Yeah, I would.
That's the way I say it anyway. I want to experience life. I'm not happy about some of those experiences, but I know that it's going to be okay on the other side of it. And that's
Yeah, because when we get back to spirit, we look back and say, boy, I'm glad everything happened the way it did. And I truly am in the dark valleys. I wouldn't trade those for the world.
right.
Now that I'm out of them. When you're in them, God, you want to get out of them.
Definitely. So agree.
And it's just it's a matter of being dipped in a certain paint. And okay, I got that color. I picked that up. And if you don't learn it, I think you do it again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, if you don't learn that, class and get a passing grade, repeat.
And it all begs the question. Then ultimately, we are learning, and every time we learn, we become maybe a higher being. Maybe we become more astute of what's going on in the spiritual world. But is there a goal down the road your guys can share that? Okay, when you hit a certain level of going in and out of these places of learning, and it's not necessarily the planet Earth. It could be other planets. It could be other types of entities. It could be other dimensional, multiverse, and things. When you hit a certain level, is there a goal where you achieve almost all knowing? Is that the goal here?
Well, that's kind of the way they showed it to me, because I don't. Well, yes and no. It's really kind of a hard. All I can tell you is what they've shown me, and I can describe it. And that is that when you achieve all those experiences or all that education that you want, need, or desired, then it's kind of like you're sitting and waiting for others of sorts, but you may do certain tasks or jobs, like be that teacher or that guide to that individual, or go on. I mean, I've actually seen them shown me people that kind of walk away off into I don't know where, so I don't know if that is, like you said, another multiverse, universe, what it is, but it's just like other tasks of sorts. And they, just go on to do and to experience and help where it's needed. And that's all they've shown me.
Now, when it comes to someone who's really a nasty person and murders someone or murders a couple people and then goes back to spirit, they have chose that they were going to go into it because maybe in another life they were the one who was murdered.
That's what I've seen. Yes.